We're now into the 6th day of a search in Nova Scotia for those 2 missing children. And today, the RCMP announced a significant and concerning change. The search is being scaled back.
Based on the experts and the review of the facts, the inclement weather, the time frames, and their age, the likelihood that they're alive right now is very low.
We're transitioning from a full-scale search to searches of more specific spaces that have already been searched by our teams. We want to circle back to increase the probability that all clues have been found. And when transitioning from an active search to a scaled-back search, the probability of survival is taken into consideration. I want to assure you that our missing persons investigation continues. We're not packing up, and we're not giving up.
6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack were reported missing last Friday. Police received a 911 call that they had wandered away from their home in northeastern Nova Scotia. The search is taking place in a Pictou County community called Lansdowne Station. It's about an hour and a half northeast of Halifax. Searchers have covered an area roughly the size of downtown Halifax. About 160 people have taken part, and they've used helicopters and drones. This is a heavily wooded area with many downed trees from that hurricane that blew through in 2022. CBC's Nicholas Sagan joins us now from just outside the search area. And I know you've been there since Monday. You've been asking police questions throughout about their investigation. How has their tone changed in the way they're talking about this case?
Well, Ian, today they basically announced that the search and rescue portion of the operation is over. They've had hundreds of highly trained search and rescue volunteers from across Nova Scotia and some from New Brunswick. They've been working 12-hour shifts, working through the night, and those people are being sent home at the end of the day today. So RCMP are actually going to take over the search. They said they're going to be searching areas that have already been searched, and they're looking for clues or things that may have been missed. So the tone did change today. Throughout the last few days, they've been saying that they don't have any evidence to support that there has been any foul play. They've been saying they think the kids just wandered off from their house. But today they mentioned suspicion for the first time. They said this case is being considered suspicious, but they said all missing persons cases are considered suspicious until the investigation leads them to think differently. Today they also confirmed that RCMP Major Crimes Unit has been involved in this investigation since Saturday. Here's what the officer in charge of major crimes had to say.
When it comes to a missing person, we have to automatically consider are there people that have different charter implications and things like that? So we will automatically start to consider what evidence is pointing us towards a suspicious in nature. Again, I can't comment more than that, but every missing person case, we would approach it from the same process, a methodical collection and review of information with decisions based on that.
And so the father of these 2 children, Lily and Jack, the stepfather of these 2 children, has told us that he has had his home searched, his phone searched, and that he and his family have been interviewed by Major Crimes. We asked RCMP if they could confirm this, and we haven't heard back about that.
Yeah, it's such a delicate kind of investigation to do, because you have, the parents who are going through not knowing where their kids are, and at the same time, how do police deal with the family as they go through their investigation? So in terms of the stepfather, how has he been reacting to today's update?
So he's been speaking with us every day, speaking with lots of media every day, trying to get the word out, making pleas to the community for people to come forward, because he has been saying that he thinks this is an abduction. He's been calling for an Amber Alert to be sent out. He's been calling for checkpoints at the border and at the airports. I asked RCMP about that today, if they have any new information that could lead them to think it's an abduction. They wouldn't comment on that and said there's no information that can be publicly released. So the stepdad today is, he said he's exhausted. He said he's still holding out hope, but he had a briefing and they told him about the change in the search, and here's what he had to say about that.
Well, I know they can't go forever. I mean, there's search and rescue workers searchers that have already been injured. They've spent so much resources. I mean, resources doesn't matter at this point, but I mean, everybody's tired. There's some people that I don't think they even went home.
And the stepfather's been saying that his family has been out searching around the area every day.
Nicola, thank you very much for your reporting. All right, well, let's get some more on this from Robert Parker. He's the warden of Pictou County. Robert, thank you very much for joining us late in the evening. And after 6 days of searching, the RCMP says they're going to be scaling back. What does that tell you about the status of the search?
Well, thank you, Ian. But the searchers have searched really hard for 6 full days. They've combed that area back and forth. They had dogs, they had drones, they had helicopters. People around here, I think, are generally in agreement that they've done everything they could possibly do to find these 2 little ones. And so it's not a surprise today to anybody. I don't think that this has been scaled back. We knew we're going to have to accept this sooner or later. And today was the day, and I think the words of Staff Sergeant Curtis McKinnon there saying, we're not going away. We're not going to give up until we bring little Jack and little Lily home. I think that means a lot to people, that they're still going to keep looking for these little ones until they bring them home.
Yeah, boy. Have you had a chance to speak with the family?
No, I have not. I know the mother is in another part of the province with her family, and I tried to stay out of the way, to tell you the truth, Ian, because as a county council, our job is to provide funding to the search and rescue teams, to the RCMP, to the firefighters, and then let the experts do their job, and they've done it well.
Such a grueling thing to go through, the sort of alarm being raised, the people who have just jumped in and worked so hard, involved in this search under some really difficult conditions, as I understand it, and now hearing that the search is being scaled back because little chance that these kids have survived if they are out there in the woods. What impact is this having on your community?
Well, it's been like a high tension wire in for the last 6 days. There's not a conversation takes place in this county where it doesn't very quickly go to the little ones and, people's thoughts and on what might have or could have happened and all of that. But there's an old saying, that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, right now, all of Pictou County is that village. And we feel like we've seen the faces on TV and we've seen so much that we feel like these children are ours, all of Pictou County.
Yeah. And then, of course, every time there's a situation like this, and this is not, unique to Pictou County, there'll be all kinds of sort of suggestions, allegations, rumors, and I'm not asking you about the content of those, but what I am curious about is how do you deal with that when you know that people are kind of asking questions and feel like they have the answers? Yeah, how do you respond to that?
Well, I think, Ian, it's human nature to, when they've done so much to find these little ones and it's not happening, it's human nature to say, well, what did happen? And suspicions arise and whatnot. I think as long as people keep in mind not to be nasty and not to be mean and not to say things that may have no truth to them at all, that's very hurtful, and that can hurt a lot of people. I just keep reminding people that keep it within yourself if you have some thoughts, or you and your partner or whatever, but don't go spreading it online and in public when you don't know whether it's true or not. You can just hurt a lot of people. What we all need to remember at this time is be kind. Be kind to each other. Be kind to the family. Not saying things that you don't know whether they're true or not.
Yeah, really wise counsel, Warden. Thank you very much for speaking with us tonight.
You're welcome in.
Robert Parker is the Warden of Pictou County.